Hey Charlie, it's Coach Al. All right, I'm going to spend a few minutes with your video. We'll review all of what we've got here that is pertinent for you today. This is some of the barefooted video. This is about half speed actually. I'll slow this down to quarter speed for you. A number of things that we can see here. I wanted to first mention something Doc pointed out, which is certainly important. As you come down into midfoot strike, we're just looking at the position of your foot here, and we can see that barely past the point at which your feet are underneath you, the heel begins to rise up off the treadmill. So this is all about the length of these tissues here and the mobility of that foot, as we talked at length about. Also, if we come here, we can really focus on the middle and see both the movement of the knee toward the midline as you load that leg, which is a good example of the confluence of events, as we talked about, both at the feet as well as a lack of stability here and strength through the entire hip girdle as well. You can also see that lateral pelvic drop. And the amount of forefoot there is why we can't see the forefoot at this point. We can imagine that forefoot having to work itself toward the ground and the amount of motion that's there, of course, and all of that. This motion here, and again, I'm focusing right now, on the foot. As you start to load, we'll see that forefoot travel further and further into the ground. And we can imagine all of these tissues having to lengthen and control that motion. That's really what's going on, among other things, with your calves. Here we're looking at the left foot. And you can see that right hip drop as well too, but not the same motion of the knee. So a little asymmetry or difference from one side to the other, which is very obvious even to the naked eye. So I took some still images from the video, and these are good because they show us some measurements which are really pertinent for you in particular. So first, just looking at the rear foot eversion, which is what this measurement is, at 3 degrees, hardly any motion at the rear foot whatsoever. On the left, a little bit more, about 8 degrees. So a little bit of an asymmetry here, in part reflected by a difference in the shape of the bones of the feet, but also to a very large degree also what's happening here at the hip. While we're looking at similar numbers of 6 degrees and 5 degrees of lateral pelvic drop, you can see quite a bit of differences in the shape of your spine and the amount of changes that are occurring through the trunk, and some differences in terms of translation, all which meaning the position of the pelvis, all of which are affecting the amount of rotation that's occurring at all of the bones, the femur and the tibia below it. And again, as mentioned before, the differences in the alignment of the hip, the knee to the ankle on right and left. So all of these things are manifesting itself in the motion that's occurring at the feet and the amount of stress on the calves to control or decelerate these various forces. All right, that's really it. I mean, that's what it all boils down to. Any questions at all, please do not hesitate to ask with respect to the video. Best of luck with your training.